And I like something about what you were saying.
Okay.
I was in a conversation with someone and we were talking about trauma.
Ooh. Childhood, relationship, life, school, education, drama. Hey, people are hate munyika.
We were talking about trauma. And why I thought about trauma is you were saying something like about building walls. Because usually when you go through a traumatic experience, you learn to
defense mechanism.
Yeah, you build walls generally. So I didn't ask myself during the conversation. What women don't like a stingy man.
Oh damn.
But what if he's stingy because he went through some sort of trauma?
The trauma, a financial trauma.
Yeah.
When a boy has a financial trauma, all right. What exactly happened for him to have this financial trauma?
Because there's a reason why he's acting that way.
Oh, there
must be a reason.
Something happened.
Yeah. So it's probably he went through some traumatic experience.
Somebody said something to him.
Probably. This guy went all out on a girl, spoiling
everything.
And then the girl cheats. So do you think when he gets to a next relationship is gonna be the same?
So should I pay for the sins of another?
You do.
No, I don't.
But men do all the time.
You need to heal.
But men do all the time.
I actually am also against that. Women should stop reflecting or projecting the traumas of your previous relationship. If you're not ready for someone, heal. But
challenge, people don't wait. They want to enter into a relationship.
You want to react into a relationship.
I see what you did there.
People want to react into relationship. They don't want to respond.
Yeah.
You can't keep up this thing where the next person you're gonna be with has to constantly pay for the sins and mistakes of the previous person. I'm not them.
But that's
I'm not going to have to not get a nice gift because when our previous you did gifts and she left you for a richer guy. And as a guy, you're not supposed to pay for some guy who cheated. Now every single time why are you being that toxic to a guy? And your explanation is, the last time I was in a relationship, he cheated. He's not him.
But that's what usually happens. So I was thinking, because I'd never. That's why I say we have the deepest conversations, because that I'd never thought about it.
That's true.
I'd never thought about it in that way. I'm going to stingy. I'm going to. But I don't think people actually think there could be a reason. Probably it's trauma.
Trauma.
Because I'm going to open up because of the last relationship.
That's so true.
That's in the same sense. It's because of traumatic experience.
That's all out. But at the same time, Tinashe, I will always say this statement. We all have some form of trauma. We're coming from.
We do. Everyone.
I, as a child, I have some childhood trauma inflicted by both parents, relatives, fellow kids, like my siblings, some inflicted by church mates, some at such a young age, because when you're young, have you ever had people tell you, you're fat?
That's traumatic.
It can kill your self-esteem as a child.
And kids are the biggest bullies. Like they are the biggest bullies.
When you're in high school, you're stupid out phone. That can have such a big traumatic reaction on your life, because you see either they will become so intelligent ukangoda kumuti hazivi atochaja unorere kuti handisi kuziva inini So you will meet people, and people come with baggage.
They do.
But
Everyone.
everybody has baggage, but when people bring their baggage, I think the hardest thing and the one thing we're failing to do as individuals, I think I remember talking about this yesterday with my boyfriend. We said we need to give each other grace. Like, let's learn to give each other grace. We are coming from different places. We've experienced different things. And maybe at such data, share all of those things. But we need to give each other grace. Ipawo munu, the benefit of the doubt. I know it's hard and it's not easy. But you should be willing enough to give that grace to the next person. Good, you know what? I don't know them and they don't know me. But let me give them the benefit of the doubt, because you will never know what you had if you jeopardize it or destroy it because of the trauma you had. You genuinely need to try your hardest to heal. I think we should bring someone to talk about trauma here.
I'm currently working on having someone from Friendship Bench.
That would be so awesome, because people are hurting.
Mental issues, trauma, because I was going through some depression, but now I'm okay. But that had me thinking, could really everyone's going through some form of depression.
Always, at every single second.
And I liked what you said about giving someone the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
Going back to the question you asked me, can we? All right, let me not phrase it as a question. But what about giving someone who has offended us the benefit of the doubt? Probably they're going through a very hard day. I don't want to. I'm going through some. So I think you also have to be very empathetic.
Extremely.
Like, not look at what's happening, but looking at what could have caused on their part. Why are they so irritated? Why did they say this to me? Why did they say it in that manner?
That's so true.
Probably there's a I guarantee you 70% of the time they'll tell you something has happened. Unless 30% is there. They might be a terrible person. Just a terrible person. But also that goes back to trauma. That 30% still goes back to trauma. Something that happened.
Somebody did something, and that's why I think that's why Jesus kept saying that, you will have trouble in this world.
Yeah.
Guarantee. Offense will come. And that offense, it creates people, How you react to situations, how you handle people, how you interact with the world has a lot to do with how you were raised, the environment you grew up in,
true.
The things, the challenges you faced, how you handled them. So it's been wired into your head. So the only way for you to change how you are acting now is only if you intentionally work on your mind and your heart and really see with it. I'll give an example of myself. I'm a very open person. I am very defensive. Have you noticed?
No.
No, Tintin. I think it's because me and him haven't ever had we haven't had an argument before. I'm a very defensive person, and I get that a lot from a lot of people. And akaita close to me, like really close, and they don't say, guys, been that defensive. You can go to my aunts, you can go to my mom, you can go to my friends, you can go to my boyfriend. They will tell you, Benyuda is always
defensive,
ready to defend.
But you can trace that to some point in your life.
I can trace that back to when I was a kid. I didn't grow up with my parents. Like I stayed with my aunt, and where I stayed, everyone else was older. So growing up in an environment, you kind of feel like you're weak.
Oh.
So you feel the need to defend, and you feel like people will never hear you because everyone else was 7 years and above. 7 years older. So you can imagine did grade 1 in 7 years and everyone is starting from 14 years.
So you it's coming from I'm independent. I'm good enough as Visa.
Yes.
And this is
so looking at that, every time I know Vuns was something, I just go into defense mode, and it's not good. And I really appreciate the people in my life because they always tell me, why are you being defended? I'm not being defended. Then just
What debate about that? I'm not debating.
I can tell them that. But yes, and it really is something that I'm working on, and I'm intentionally putting effort into. That's why I was researching about offense. That's why I'm reading the word a lot. I'm really putting in 100 to deal with this, because one day I'm gonna have kids. Mm-hmm. And I do not want to pass down trauma to my kids. I don't want to pass down demons and really crazy characteristics onto my kids. I want to be able. I know. I can't rule out completely trauma from them. But at least they shouldn't experience trauma and I experience I need. Like for me to relive that trauma on my kids, right? I felt like I couldn't speak up. I felt like I was weak or small because I don't want my child to feel that way.
Yeah.
So what am I going to do? I'm going to make sure that I create an environment where they feel that, no, it's okay to speak up. You don't like something? Taura, mama, inandidi dress ragat. Inandifariri chakati. It's true to diki twanotanga kutaura achiri mudiki twekuti inandifariri fish. Imemo mati ayo, panonodya fish. You know, you close up, man.
I'm a trauma. And the saddest thing is, probably you won't realize that you're traumatized. It really takes a level of introspection. I could be acting this way because of, like I was saying, with a stingy man is, has to be stingy for a reason. I'm stingy. For real.
Okay, fine. Let's have a small debate.
Yeah.
About that tiny topic. We're just gonna just a little bit. So people say that the only way for you to know if a guy loves you is if he spends on you. If he doesn't spend on you, he doesn't love you enough. And it's a funny statement that also has some supporting facts that say that if a guy wants to, he will. And if he's not doing it for you, it means he doesn't want to. So how far true is that? Because when you say there's some trauma behind someone being stingy, that actually makes sense.
Well, I do agree with you with what you said. I do agree with you to a certain extent. That
if he wanted to, he would.
That if a man is really into Yuzugudaru, he will go all out just to, show
impress
you. Yeah, just to show you you mean that much to him. But also, I have reservations because some people don't know how to express love. Do you believe that? Like but they just can't express love. Maybe it's because I was reading somewhere with how we love is also affected by how we were raised by our parents.
What you saw happening in their relationship, you're most probably going to.
So there are actually categories of because when people have an attachment, it's actually under attachment theory in psychology. Attachment theory. So there are categories. Kuna vane avoidant love behavior. They love you, but at a distance, even in a relationship. But not good, but probably he doesn't know how to. For him, probably he's not sexually abused, emotionally abused. So they would rather keep their distance in a relationship, but they love you.
My God.
And probably they don't know kuti iwewe especially iwo kana une imwe style yakasiyana neyoyo you probably you want close, you want
like you're the touchy type of
yeah, you're the
very physical.
Yeah, you always have to be close to someone, and you then get someone and that avoidant behavior.
My gosh, that's so my mom. I think she has some avoidant love. I'm telling you, like my mom and me, when I give her a hug, it's like this is me, mom, and this is her. Like this is in the middle. I can also feel her. She's trying her hardest to get out of it, but at the same time, like trying to hug me back, and then in my mind, just putting it there.
So that's why I say I can agree with you to a certain extent that if a guy has a healthy way of expressing his love, he will go all out. But if he has been affected in his upbringing, he will love you, but sometimes he won't express it in the way that
you are expecting it and you're accustomed to.
Yeah.
I think that's a big thing for women to understand, that when you're dating someone, understand the type of person that they are. Like really get in depth into how they express love. They're genuinely stingy. Those guys are there. But then you can genuinely find someone with good tea. You can see that they really want you, but where they are emotionally and mentally, it doesn't allow them to give as much. And as a girl, you need to make a decision. Kuti, do you want to stick it out with them until they make it through, or you can't and you leave? And I honestly just want to give an advice that there's nothing wrong with you walking away. There's nothing wrong with you walking away from something you see that you will not be able to stick it out, or something you see yourself resenting in the long run. I feel like that's where acrimony comes in if you watch the movie.
That's a crazy movie.
It's a really crazy movie, but I feel like if Cookie had just walked away from...
Oh, you know her as Cookie now.
Oh, girl, I don't know her as Cookie, because the thing is, I watched Acrimony after watching Empire.
So you now know that's your reference.
So for me, that's like reference, straight up Cookie. So I feel like if she had walked away from that relationship when she saw that there's so much needed of her that she couldn't give, I feel like that would have helped her more. But there was the issue that this girl had just lost her mom, and her sisters were just a whole different thing. So I feel like she was so desperate to have somebody with her and want her for who she is that she stuck around with this guy for so long, when she could have just walked away. And then the instances where if you are genuinely sure that you can be Grace the Builder and you are willing to build Peter
up